Hey and welcome Overwatch lore and story fans, I'm Hammeh, and we're revelling in lots of new Overwatch lore details from BlizzCon 2016. In this vid, I'll round up what we've learnt lore-wise and can speculate with an analysis of the new animated short Infiltration, tidbits from Sombra's origin trailer, and more. During BlizzCon 2016's opening ceremony, we were finally introduced to the 23rd Overwatch hero, with a brand new animated short, an origin trailer in the vein of previous hero reveals such as Ana's and Soldier 76's too. Between them, we've learnt a lot more about Sombra's backstory, possible motivations, and a conspiracy that runs through the heart of Overwatch's world, lore and story, but more on that later. Here's my story and lore analysis and reactions, as well as some first thoughts on this short. It contains spoilers of course, so look away now if you need to watch them first, then come back to this video to share your thoughts in the comments. Firstly, I'll quickly summarise the story of the short before we move on to the analysis after. Sombra, Widowmaker and Reaper are infiltrating Volskaya Industries. Working as a team, we quickly see that their goal is to assassinate Katia Volskaya, head of the company, and according to Sombra, the most powerful woman in Russia. Katia is reviewing some new mechs that Volskaya are making, their first in a decade, and apparently with a new guidance system that will really help Russia in their fight against the active Omnium in what appears to be the second Omnic crisis. As an alarm set off, we see Widow shut out and Reaper cornered by a new Volskaya mech. It's all down to Sombra. Showing off her full array of hacking, stealth, agility and close-range fury, Sombra pursues Volskaya and her detail, finally cornering her in her office. Instead of pulling the trigger, we learn Sombra's gone to a lot of trouble to set up this meeting. She blackmails Volskaya instead of killing her, threatening to share evidence of her taking what seems to be technology from Omnic that would certainly cast a shadow on her image of being Russia's saviour. All Sombra wants is a friend in Volskaya, and a favour from time to time. Thinking of the consequences for her daughter, Volskaya agrees. As Sombra teleports out and declares the mission a failure, the Talon team retreat to fight another day. As the short draws to a close, we see Volskaya calling in the heavy guns and asking someone if they know why they're here. In Sombra's origin trailer, we can see a few glimpses of her early years, along with how she came to unveil a conspiracy that came after her, how she became Sombra, and really interestingly at the end, some teasing hints at this worldwide conspiracy. Okay, there's the story. Here's my main thoughts, analysis, and a few speculations on the animated short and the origin trailer. The first thing that struck me was looking at Talon in action and Sombra's affiliation. Now, Sombra, of course, is working with Reaper here and Widowmaker in a mission. They're very coordinated. It's obviously not the first mission they've worked on seemingly together. Very slick between all three of them as to how they move and run the mission, Sombra messing around aside. We've previously heard a mention of Sombra from Reaper in Egypt, in the events of Old Soldiers, confirming that, along with her website bio, Sombra's definitely working for the bad guys here. Although she's got a bit of a playful, chaotic side to her character, let's make no mistake. She's killing people in Talon's name in this short. I'm pretty sure her machine pistol isn't exactly going to disable people, and it's all ultimately, as we learn, for her own gain. While we're on that point, it's interesting that Sombra messes everything up for her own ends. She's willing to work for the evil force in Overwatch's world, or so we think, to meet her own means. Chaotic evil? Chaotic neutral? Where do you think she stands in terms of her alignment? Is she completely self-serving? Sombra indirectly threatens, depending on how you interpret it, Volskaya's daughter, and certainly says that if anything happens to Volskaya, the future of Russia, as Sombra puts it, would certainly feel the consequences. Widowmaker can usually see through walls while we're on the subject of Talon. Could she have known that Sombra intentionally failed the mission? And what might Talon do when they find out, or if they find out, that Sombra's been sabotaging their work? Sombra's pursuit of this conspiracy that came after her borderlines on an obsession seemingly, from the lore we've heard so far, and from comments from Michael Chu, lead writer at BlizzCon 2016. If the girl is gone, as her origin trailer said, then it seems nothing will stand in her way. And if she succeeds, what will she actually do then? The second thing that was interesting was, of course, seeing Sombra's abilities in action. The most advanced security system on the planet causes her no problems as a very adept hacker. She hacks the door to get Reaper in, she hacks the lift on the fly to be able to fly up and pursue Volskaya, and finally she hacks the giant mech, throwing herself with its hand in a very spectacular set piece. Sombra's also pretty agile, pretty strong, pulling herself up with one hand here when she needs to, and an interesting piece on her translocator. This is actually based on Winston's chronal accelerator technology. Take a look at this image that was shared by the devs from the What's New panel, where it was confirmed. So, at some point, and we obviously see this later, Sombra's been hacking Winston or Overwatch. The third topic that was really interesting from this short was Volskaya Industries and Katia Volskaya. We know a little bit more about her as a person, she has a family, and she's clearly associating with Omnics. Now, these are Volskaya Industries' first new mechs in a decade. Presumably these smaller models are complementing or perhaps replacing the Sviatogor mechs that we see around Volskaya Industries and in various pieces of Overwatch footage. They apparently have a new guidance system, and the models look a little bit newer, I'd say, than the ones we've seen so far. In a nice little bit of crossover, they're equipped with something that looks like, or probably is, Zaya's particle cannon, and they do seem quite happy to hack up their own factory. Now, I really like this because it fits in pretty nicely. I think it was Chris Metzen who said at maybe last year's BlizzCon in 2015 that Zarya was so strong she was the only person who could actually carry this weapon, and it was literally off a tank or an armoured vehicle or something in his words. So it's good to see Zarya's weapon being used elsewhere. While we're on the subject of Volskaya, the Volskaya sting is the really interesting thing that you can take out of this short, and in fact I'll go into it in more detail in another video. Sombra reveals a really interesting image in her conversation with Volskaya that also ties into the conspiracy in Sombra's origin trailer. First things first, why is Katia Volskaya taking this tech from Omnic? It appears that this tech is slotted somehow directly into the centre of some of the new mechs that are being produced. The Omnic that she's meeting with, is it the enemy? Or is it perhaps a friendly Omnic of some kind? And if so, what's the alignment and agenda? As for this object, in a certain picture we see that it appears to be a core or power source of some kind, but previously the staff member mentioned a new guidance system. Could it be a guidance system? Could it be an AI? Or something more advanced? Whatever it is definitely important for Omnic, and there's a really nice cross-reference here. If you take a look at the statue in King's Row of Mondata, he appears to be holding this very object above his hand, as well as holding the hand of a human child in the other. In this symbol of peace and this symbol of memory, what is Mondata holding? It looks important. It might literally potentially be his soul or his heart in his hand. Just a thought. Big thanks to Arutha and Cerise for spotting that one. In this short, Sombra definitely follows up on the idea that she who has the information has the power. Volskaya doesn't want that information out. Whether it's innocent or not so innocent, it certainly doesn't look good. And Sombra, maybe a little bit like the devil, will be calling for some favours at some point. You can bet on it. Last but not least, and a final point about this short, in a few pieces of the animated short, there's interesting ties into one image in particular in Sombra's origin trailer. This is the conspiracy image, or the connections image. Whatever this conspiracy is, whatever this symbol represents, it came after Sombra, and she's obsessed in investigating and working out what's going on. In Sombra's origin trailer, we see this fascinating image where Sombra's investigating who really runs the world, their weaknesses, and how to exploit them. So she wants to be the one pulling the strings after being attacked by this force. This throws up so many questions and intriguing points for speculation. A lot of you have asked about it. I'm going to do a completely separate video on this. So if you'd like to see that, do keep an eye out on the playlist or sub. To round up our animated short analysis, I'm going to put 3 questions out there for you to start your mind churning. Number 1, why is Volskaya so involved in the middle of things as a company and as a person, with links to Numbani and to Dorado? What is this mysterious object, as we've discussed, that Volskaya took from the Omnic, and who is this Omnic? And then, most importantly possibly, what is the mysterious eye which is at the centre of everything, seemingly to do with this Overwatch world? Sombra's animated short and this image start to tie the world of Overwatch's story together, with a few teasing hints. I can't wait to find out where we're going next. Thanks so much for tuning in to my animated short analysis. If you enjoy this, do throw a like or subscribe, it really helps me out, and comment with what you think's been going on in this short and what you think the eye is. Conspiracy theories, activate. Do check out all my other BlizzCon videos. I've got all the Overwatch news, including Sombra, a hero lore, new maps, arcade mode, and much more. My hero voice lines and lore series will return this week with Sombra, hopefully, as well as loads of new videos, including that one on the Sombra conspiracy, and new content on the PTR coming soon. So please do keep an eye out. It's going to be a great week. Cheers for tuning in. I'm Hammeh. Take it easy.